My partner was chuckling with her pals. She said she'd cruelly reject me after I popped the question. I stayed composed, waiting. 2 days later, she was frantically buzzing my intercom, pleading for mercy. I'm a 29-year-old guy, and I'd been with Sarah, 27, for 3 years. Everything shifted yesterday, and I'm still grappling with it. I need to vent. We met through friends at a cozy house party, moved in together last year, and things felt flawless. She'd been hinting at engagement for months, showing me ring designs online, chatting about dream venues. I was set to propose next month. That morning, I was at Brew Haven, our go-to cafe, tucked in a corner with my laptop, earbuds in but silent, trying to work. Then I heard her familiar giggle. Sarah was there with her friends, Lisa and Emma, at a table behind me, hidden by a high booth. I almost called out to her, but then she mentioned my name. Something in her voice made me pause. Lisa asked quietly, failing to hush herself, if Sarah was really going through with it. Sarah's laugh turned icy, almost vicious. She said I was predictable, that she'd seen my browser history with engagement rings. She called me clueless. Emma sounded hesitant, noting 3 years was a long time to pretend. Sarah scoffed, saying the lease was in my name, she'd barely paid for anything, and her new guy, Mark, had a better place and a flashier car. My hands trembled, but I stayed still. Mark, her coworker who'd been popping up in her social media lately. Lisa asked what if I didn't propose when expected. Sarah was confident, saying she had me under her thumb. She'd let me propose publicly, make my speech, then humiliate me before leaving with Mark for a planned trip. They laughed as ice clinked in their drinks. Emma squealed that Sarah was wicked. Lisa asked about our shared friends. Sarah dismissed them, saying most were mine anyway, and Mark's circle offered better parties and connections. She mocked my outdated watch, calling me ordinary. I sat there, fury building, controlling my breath. 3 years and she'd been deceiving me. Lisa asked when it would happen. Sarah predicted I'd choose Romano's, the Italian spot I thought was upscale, within 2 weeks, thanks to her sending me ring photos. They kept talking about Mark, their secret outings, and how Sarah had been siphoning money from our shared account. I gripped my phone tighter but didn't budge, recording it all. They left, still laughing, unaware I'd captured everything. I drove home, dazed but plotting. The lease, our accounts, the evidence, I had it all. My anger turned sharp and calculated. That evening, Sarah came home and I acted normal, asking about her day, listening to her lies about lunch with friends. She kissed me, suggested Romano's for our anniversary, and I smiled, saying it was a great idea, hinting at something special. She glowed, thinking her scheme was on track. If only she knew what I was planning. I'll share updates as things unfold. I'm making calls and setting things in motion. The next few days will be intense. Update 1 recapping. I overheard Sarah at the cafe planning to humiliate me during my proposal and admitting she was seeing Mark, her coworker. The past week has been wild. I went full sleuth, needing concrete proof. I made a fake social media profile and followed Lisa and Emma. They post everything. Within days, I had screenshots of them at bars and restaurants with Sarah and Mark, some showing her kissing him while wearing the bracelet I gave her last holiday. Here's the kicker. Sarah always stayed late at work on Thursdays. I went to a Thai spot near her office and saw her and Mark sharing a meal, flirting openly. I sat at the bar, sipped a drink, and recorded clips. They were so wrapped up in each other, they didn't notice me, even as she wore my jacket. The nerve. The next day, I ran into Lisa at the store. She froze. I casually asked about their cafe meetup, keeping her on edge with questions about Sarah's work stress. She was a mess, stammering. I showed Lisa a fake ring photo, saying I was planning to propose. Her face was a roller coaster. She called Sarah right after, and Sarah soon rang me, overly sweet, asking about dinner plans. My friend Tom, who works at Sarah's company, told me Mark's in a divorce she didn't know about, feeding her false promises. I kept up the act, being extra affectionate, dropping hints about our future. She ate it up. One day, she left her phone unlocked. Her texts with Lisa bragged about my imminent proposal and going public with Mark after dumping me. I reserved a table at a fancy downtown steakhouse for Saturday. Sarah thinks it's for a proposal. Her friends are set to celebrate after, and Mark plans to watch from the bar. They don't know I've got a different spectacle ready. I've secured a new place, slowly moving my stuff out subtly. The ring box for dinner holds their messages, photos, and a note for her. Acting normal is tough. Every kiss or talk of our future makes me want to confront her. But watching her dig her own grave while I plan something bigger feels almost artistic. My hands shake with anticipation. Saturday's close, and I'm ready with evidence, witnesses, and an exit plan. Sarah thinks she's in a love story, but she's crafted her own downfall. I'll update post-Saturday. Update 2 last night happened, and I'm still processing. Thanks for the support, it kept me grounded. I booked Bella Vita, a nice local Italian place Sarah had hinted at for months, for 7:30 p.m. Her friends were there, phones out, expecting a big moment. I wore the suit she loved, picked her up, and she was radiant, texting constantly, likely updating Mark and her friends. I smiled, recalling her cruel laughter about humiliating me. The restaurant was packed, ideal. Tom was at the bar as planned. By dessert, Sarah was restless, probably waiting for the proposal. Instead, I stood, holding my wine glass, and announced a toast loud enough for nearby tables. I toasted Sarah, who'd shared my life for 3 years, then revealed she'd been with Mark for 8 months. Her smile vanished. I played the cafe recording, her voice echoing about dumping me and her getaway with Mark. Her face paled. Lisa and Emma were stunned. I continued calmly, pointing out Mark's marriage, which she didn't know about. Sarah flipped, knocking over her glass, screaming I'd set her up. The place went silent. I told her she'd set herself up, refusing to be her victim. I turned to her friends, asking if they knew her plan or just went along. Emma teared up. Lisa tried defending Sarah but faltered when I sent them screenshots of Sarah's texts bragging about deceiving us. Sarah lunged for my phone, but Tom stepped in. She screamed I'd ruined her life, mascara streaking, as the manager escorted her out. Lisa followed, but Emma stayed, admitting Sarah had painted me as controlling to justify her actions. Outside, Sarah was sobbing on the curb, likely calling Mark, whose wife had learned everything days earlier. Lisa tried consoling her but backed off when she saw me. Sarah whimpered I'd betrayed her, claiming she loved me. I told her she loved what I provided, not me, and drove away. She bombarded me with calls and texts, threats, then pleas. I blocked her. By morning, word spread. She'd shown up at Mark, causing a scene, and his wife called the police. She's trying to spin it in our friend group's chats, but the evidence is out there and no one's buying it. I should feel guilty about the public fallout, but after her plan to shame me, this feels like justice. Tom's taking me for drinks tonight to unwind. My hands still shake, but I feel free for the first time in months. Update 3, it's been 2 months since the restaurant, and things have escalated. Thanks for the DMs pushing for an update. Sarah's calls that night hit 47, with texts swinging from threats to apologies. Mark's wife, who works at their company, got their full text history. Someone, not me, sent it to her work email. The fallout was massive. Mark was fired for dating a subordinate against company rules, and Sarah was let go after a dramatic office outburst, flipping a desk and screaming I'd ruined her. Security dragged her out. Those screenshots of her bragging about manipulating me reached our friend group. Maybe my finger slipped sharing them. Her friends turned on her. Emma apologized to me, unaware of Sarah's lies about me being controlling. Sarah tried damage control at our usual bar, but Lisa publicly called her pathetic, leading to Sarah throwing a drink and getting banned. She's now couchsurfing at her cousin's, jobless, after expecting to move in with me post-proposal. She showed up at my work yelling I owed her for 3 years. My crew filmed it and the video's viral locally. I don't care much, but it's satisfying. Instead of a ring, I used that money for a solo beach trip, posting photos that sent Sarah into a rage, claiming it was our money. I've met someone new, Claire, who's genuine, independent, and laughed off Sarah's unhinged social media rants about me. Sarah tried messaging Claire warnings, but Claire sent back the meltdown video and blocked her. I'm smitten. Sarah's parents, who treated me like family, called to apologize, mortified by her actions. Her mom cried, saying their church group saw the videos. Sarah's now moving back with them, jobless, friendless, her reputation in tatters, all self-inflicted. I'm thriving with Claire and a fresh start. Karma hit hard, but Sarah hit harder.